welcome to the another lecture of name reaction. Today I will basically discuss about Stobbe condensation reaction and I will highlight few points. What is the basics, then reaction, what is Stobbe condensation reaction with detailed explanation of mechanism. I will talk about the mechanism, so you have to know the mechanism for university level exam. And the last point that I will highlight is the short tricks of Stobbe condensation reaction. This is very much important for the competitive level exam. CSI and NET student and GATE student, please see the short tricks, because in exam you have to apply the short tricks, and if you apply the short tricks then you can attempt the question and do this question in just 25 to 30 seconds. And if you know the mechanism and you can do this reaction particular question for 3 to 4 minutes. You have to waste 3 to 4 minutes for that particular question. So know the short tricks very well so that you can apply on the exam also. So first point we have to know about Stobbe condensation reaction is who had done this reaction. What is the name of the scientist we have to know first. The scientist's name is Hans Stobbe. He had done this reaction in the year 1899. So what we can conclude? The name of the reaction is given according to the name of the scientist, because if you observe the name, here the scientist's name is already included. That's why we can tell that the name of the reaction is given as per the name of the scientist. So what is the name of the scientist? I have already told, Hans Stobbe. He had done this reaction in the year 1899. He had developed this reaction and reported this reaction in the year 1899. So what we can conclude? The name of the reaction is given according to the name of the scientist. Please note everything. The name of the reaction. Your entire focus will be on the board. Okay? So note everything. The name of the reaction is given as per the name of the scientist. This will be the first point. Now the second point comes. What will be the second point? The second point basically is the general scheme of the reaction. How will you identify that this reaction is basically Stobbe condensation reaction? For that reason you have to know the general scheme, the basics of Stobbe condensation reaction. The general scheme of the reaction. This is very much important point. By the help of this general scheme, you can identify that this reaction is basically Stobbe condensation reaction or not. For Stobbe condensation reaction, we have to take a carbonyl compound, and you know that a carbonyl compound can be aldehyde or a ketone. So first of all you have to write that we have to take a carbonyl compound. Carbonyl compound, and with it we have to take a succinic ester. Succinic ester. And we have to take a base, and lastly we have to do and in every reaction you have to see that in the most of the reaction the last step will be the acidic workup or the hydrolysis. So lastly we have to do the hydrolysis, then we can generate the product. Here the product that is formed is alpha beta unsaturated ester acid. Alpha beta unsaturated ester acid. Ester acid. So how will you identify the reaction is Stobbe condensation reaction? If there is a aldehyde or a ketone, and with ketone succinic ester is present and along with it a base is present, that means there will be obviously Stobbe condensation reaction. So carbonyl compound can be aldehyde, and it can be ketone. So if we write the structure in general, R1 single bond carbon double bond O and the R2. If the R2 is H, then it will be called as aldehyde, and if the R2 is CH3, then it can be what? Tell ketone, and it can be ketone also. So if R2 equals to CH3, then it can be ketone. If R2 equals to pH, then we say that it can be also ketone. So these are the possibility. So R2 can be aryl, R2 can be alkyl. If R2 is aryl or R2 is alkyl, that means ketone. And if R2 is hydrogen, that means what? Aldehyde. And with carbonyl compound we have to take what? Succinic ester, and the succinic ester here that is basically used, please note it correctly, that diethyl succinate, here the succinic ester that is used is diethyl succinate, and in many books it is also written that dimethyl succinate can also be used. Okay, so if I take diethyl succinate, and base, and base can be sodium hydride, sodium ethoxide, tertiary butoxide, and lastly the workup, acidic workup or hydrolysis, we will generate what? We will basically generate this R1 carbon double bond carbon, and the carbon is attached will be ester functional group, and here will be CH2 COH, and here R2, and this name is basically alpha beta unsaturated ester acid. Why? I will tell. If you see this system, the ester functional group is attached with this carbon, and this carbon can be said to be alpha, and this carbon can be said to be beta. So there will be an unsaturation between alpha and beta. That's why alpha beta unsaturated word is written. Along with that, ester functional group is present as well as acid functional group is present. That's why the whole name is said to be alpha beta unsaturated ester acid. Is it clear? So first point that I have already told us that Hans Stobbe basically done this reaction in the year 1899. So we can conclude that the name of the reaction is given according to the name of the scientist. Second point that I have already explained to you, that the general scheme of the reaction, how will you identify that this reaction is basically Stobbe condensation reaction or not. For that reason you have to know that the general scheme will be the carbonyl compound we have to take, and with it we have to take a succinic ester, and the succinic ester may be diethyl succinate or dimethyl succinate, and with it we have to take a base, and in the last step we have to do the acidic workup or hydrolysis to generate alpha beta unsaturated ester acid. Now if you see in, observe carefully, the carbonyl compound can be aldehyde or can be ketone if R1 single bond carbon double bond O, and here R2 is taken. If R2 equal to hydrogen, then it can be termed as what? Aldehyde. And if R2 equals to CH3 or pH, or if you say in this way also, that if R2 equals to any alkyl group or any aryl group, then we can say that this is a ketone system. Is it clear? Then we have to take a succinic ester. I have taken what? Dimethyl succinate, and with it we have to take a base. Base can be NaH, NaOH, tertiary butoxide, and with it we have to do the hydrolysis to generate ultimate alpha beta unsaturated ester acid. Please note this carefully or take the screenshot of the board. So now I will wrap. Now I will basically discuss the mechanism, and this mechanism is very much important for the university level exam. The BSc chemistry honor student, you have to know the mechanism in detail, because in exam you have to do the mechanism. The examiner will ask the mechanism to draw. Now please note every point. Mechanism. Please write the heading. Now I have taken a succinic ester previously. What succinic ester? Diethyl succinate. So you have to draw the diethyl succinate. Now if you see this structure, you can see that these hydrogens are basically acidic in nature. Why? Because these are the minus I effect showing group. So if the group is taking the electrons, that means these hydrogens are becoming acidic in nature, because we know that minus I effect, if increases, acidity will also increase from acid base concept. So this hydrogen is basically acidic in nature, and the reaction is also having base. So acid base reaction will obviously occur, because acid base reaction is one of the fastest reaction. So let us take a base. If we take sodium ethoxide, so OET minus, what it will do? It will abstract the proton, or you can say in this way that OET minus will remove the proton, and if there will be the removal of proton, there will be the formation of double bond, and the electron density will be shifted towards oxygen. So what happens basically here? This is highly reversible in nature. So reversible sign is must. If you forgot to do the, if you forgot to draw the reversible sign, you can, the examiner can deduct marks. Okay. So for that reason you have to do what? You have to draw the reversible sign. Now here CH2 gets converted into CH, because one hydrogen is already abstracted. So here double bond is formed, and with it carbon is present, and oxygen will be having negative charge on it, and here a single bond, and with it OET functional group is present. Now here CH2 is present, and along with it C double bond O OET, that is ester functional group is present. Now here if you see carefully, here one more resonating structure can be drawn. O minus can push back, and this bond will be shifted towards carbon. So what will happen? One more resonating structure can be formed. So write with me, okay? CH minus, and carbon will be double bonded to oxygen, and then OET will be there, then CH2 C double bond to O, and OET is present. Now, two possibilities are there. We have already taken a carbonyl compound. Let us take R1, R1 and R2. I have done this reaction in general. Okay. Now, this oxygen negative charge can attack this carbonyl carbon, and this carbon negative charge can also attack this carbonyl compound. Which one is favorable and which one is unfavorable, we have to see in detail. If you know the SAP principle, you have to see that the oxygen is basically a hard center and carbon is basically a softer center. So soft hard interaction will take place, and if carbon will attack this carbonyl compound, then what type of interaction will show? Soft interaction, and we know that soft interaction is very much good with respect to what? Soft hard interaction. That's why basically this negative charge will attack at this particular carbonyl compound. Is it clear? Second approach. If the oxygen negative charge can attack this carbonyl compound, then what will happen? Basically carbon oxygen bond will be formed. But if this negative charge, carbon negative charge, is attacking this carbonyl carbon, then what type of bond will form? Carbon single bond carbon. That means two type of bond can be formed, that carbon oxygen and carbon carbon. And we know that carbon single bond carbon is one of the strongest bond in organic chemistry. So obviously what happens? This negative charge will attack this carbonyl carbon and the electron density will be shifted towards oxygen. So what will happen? Basically I have to write in here, reversible sign is must. Okay, so write with me. R1 carbon and the oxygen will be carrying negative charge. Here R2, this carbon and this carbon will having a new carbon carbon bond. So this carbon and this carbon will have a new carbon carbon bond. So CH will be there, C double bond OET is there, and with it CH2 is also there. This oxygen negative charge we have to write in downward side, and this CH2 COET we have to write in this fashion. Why? I will tell. Okay, so you have to write in this fashion. Is it clear? So now the negative charge can attack this carbonyl carbon and the electron density can shift towards oxygen, and this negative charge can further push back and OET can leave the system. For this reason I have basically write in this fashion. Now one thing, that there is a formation of 5-member ring, 1 2 3 4 5. Is it clear? Now one probability can also take place. What? This negative charge can attack this carbon also. This negative charge can attack this carbon also. If there is a formation of 4-member ring, then there is a formation of 4-member ring, because 1 2 3 4, and here what happens? 1 2 3 4 5. So we know from Weierstrass theory that 5-member ring is very much stable with respect to 4-member ring. That's why we have to form the 5-member ring. Is it clear? Is it clear? We know from Weierstrass theory that 5-member ring is very much stable with respect to 4-member ring. That for this reason we have to form the 5-member ring. Now what happens? Basically R1 carbon R2, carbon CH, now CH2 and carbon double bond O, and there is a oxygen, and this oxygen is newly bonded to carbon, So what is the name of the system? Tell me. Lactone plus what? Ester is also present. So the name of the compound will be lactone ester. So you have to know this mechanism up to that point. In next step what happens basically, I will tell, plus the last step will also I will highlight. So in the last step we have generated this molecule R1 carbon R2, here is the oxygen, and this is getting newly bonded to carbon double bond O, and there is a CH2, there is a CH, and there is a bonding with CH2. Now there is also a presence of COET. Okay, so this is the last molecule that we have generated. Now see carefully, this hydrogen is basically acidic in nature. Why? Because this is basically attached to minus I effect showing group, and if there is a minus I effect shown by this group, then what will happen? This hydrogen will be acidic, because if the electron density will pull towards itself, then what will happen? This hydrogen will be more acidic, because we know minus I effect if increases, then the acidity will also increase, So what happens? In the reaction medium, base is also present, OET minus is already present. So what will happen basically? This hydrogen will be abstracted, there is a formation of double bond, and this bond will open up. So what happens basically? OET minus will abstract this proton, there is a formation of double bond, and this bond will open up. So what will happen? Basically the electron density will be shifted towards oxygen. So R1 carbon R2, and what happens? Carbon double bonded to carbon, and with it ester functional group is present, and with it CH2 CO minus, because the electron density is shifted towards oxygen, so O minus will be formed. Now in the last step what I will say, that in the last step, in the most of the reaction, hydrolysis is required. So for that reason we have to hydrolyze the system. For hydrolyze the system we have to take the H2O plus, and if we take the H2O plus, there will be formation of what? What is the name of the compound? Tell me. Alpha beta unsaturated ester acid salt. This form is a salt formation. So we have to take this into ester acid, not in the salt formation. So what is the name of the compound? After hydrolyze this part, we will generate this molecule. So this is the name of the alpha beta unsaturated ester acid. So this is the mechanism, and short tricks of this mechanism. We have to know the short tricks, because in competitive level exam the short tricks you have to know, because here in the competitive level exam you have to do this reaction in just 20 to 30 seconds, and the question comes in university level exam. For that reason you have to know this mechanism. Is it clear to all of you? So the short tricks will be, we have to take what? We have to take a carbonyl compound and succinic ester. Succinic ester. Here see carefully. These two hydrogen can be written in this fashion. These two hydrogen can be written in this fashion, and this oxygen and these two hydrogen will eliminate from this system. And if these two hydrogen and this oxygen will eliminate from this system, then what will happen? Basically, this carbon will be double bonded to this carbon, and this carbon will attach to this functional group, and there will be a minor change will take place. What? That this functional group will be changed to carboxylic acid. This is the basically short trick. This is done without logic. Okay, so R1 carbon R2. Now this double bond will be attached to this carbon, and the carbon is attached with COET, and here what happens? This carbon is attached to its CH2, and this functional group will be changed to carboxylic acid. That means COH will be formed, and if you see carefully, this molecule and this molecule is ultimately same. So we have prepared this molecule in just 20 seconds, but this molecule can be prepared by the help of mechanism for at least 5 to 6 minutes is required. Okay, so this is the basically Stobbe condensation reaction part 1. In the next lecture I will basically discuss about the questions of various reference book. So if you like the video, please like it and please subscribe to my channel and try to share to your friends.